Welcome back. I'm Terry, Everything Homestead. Today I'm going to show you how to make a DIY heated chicken water, just using a few basic tools and plastic drum. First, let me show you what I've been using just for a moment. We've been using this red and it's all plastic, I guess. Plug-in cord here. It actually works pretty well in most temperatures. Keeps the water from freezing. The only downside is I have to elevate it up in the air a little bit because if it sits on the floor, I keep kicking stuff into here, clogging it all up, making it a mess. The other part that I really don't care for is how to fill this thing. You either have to pull up this little thing and somehow get the water in there without spilling all over the place. And then what I ended up doing is actually just, with a twist, disconnect it. I'll fill it like this, put this on there and try to line it up and go like this and flip it over, and then the water kind of splashes all over the place. Usually I keep these in the coop because outside they can't quite make it in the really cold weather. It will freeze the majority of this outside, so I keep it in the coop, and me splashing water on like that, it just makes a mess in the coop. But it's the best thing I had for quite a while. So then just recently we purchased this system. Thought it looked kind of interesting. It's just a regular 5-gallon water jug upside down, and this bottom metal portion has a heater on it, and there is a cord for it. The only downside is we were using this this last summer, and I discovered when you fill this up with water, you've got to go like this to put it in here, and you get a ton of water splashing all over the place. And if I'm using this in the coop, it's just going to be a sloppy mess in the coop, and I don't really care to have that. And the heater is down in here. This goes down in here, and how the heater is going to heat all the way up through that little spout in the center to get the heat all the way up in here, I don't have confidence that that's going to work. Another downside to this is that I was just looking at it. The bottom side is what appears to be untreated plywood on the bottom, and it's made for water. You'd think they make that a little bit more water resistant, I guess, but I'm thinking there's already some moldy stuff coming up on here. It's only been in use for a couple months. This isn't going to hold up. The other part I just discovered was that I was trying to get this cord plugged into it for the first time because I didn't need the cord for the summer, obviously, and I couldn't get it to thread onto there. And so I was trying to think, boy, how hopeless am I? I can't even get this twisted on here. And I looked, there's no threads inside this thing. The factory didn't put threads inside of there. We did buy 2 of them, unfortunately. I went and got the other one, and this one does have threads. Just poor quality management. I don't recommend this one at all. Probably just going to pass this on to some other sucker that wants it. So, having said that, my wife came up with an idea, having seen the duck waterer that we have. The ducks have a little different scenario because the ones we have can't fly. So we just take the barrel, we can cut the barrel a little higher, we can fill it and all that stuff, and they can't get in it and have trouble. Where a chicken, on the other hand, our chickens can fly. So if you go cutting the top off one of these barrels, they're going to hop in there, probably drowned, and we can't have that. So it's a little different design. So just using a few basic tools. I have a Sawzall, I have a tape measure, I have a hole saw, and this is a multi-tool wrench to get the bunghole openings open and shut. And it also kind of works kind of good. It's got a little opener here for the lids off a 5-gallon pail. I use this quite a bit. Other than that, just a magic marker. So with this barrel, I've already marked on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the section from here to here. I'm going to take this and use it as a cap, so it's going to come down and rest on here. And you'll see it'll make more sense as we go along here. But I did take a magic marker and I marked. If you look at these barrels, they have these ribs here, and it's a 3-foot tall barrel. These ribs are 12 inches, 12 inches, 12 inches. So based off of that, I could figure out, it's a 50-gallon drum, And if I go cut that section out, I'm going to cut some holes for the chickens to get their heads in to drink. And the part that's left is basically about 6.5 inches and down will be used for the water. And using my real crude mathematics, that'll be approximately 8 gallons. And 8 gallons is quite a bit for chickens. So I think it'll work out pretty well. So let's get started. I made these marks all the way around. I'm just going to follow them with my Sawzall and just kind of roll it around and cut it as I go. Real complicated technique I got going here. All right, there's the top. Now this barrel did have vinegar in it, so I have to rinse this out good once I get it all cut up. If you're gonna do this, make sure your barrel never had anything flammable in it, because obviously it goes without saying. So I'm gonna cut out this next portion. And that goes bye-bye. So now the next part of this is that I need to get this cut so it'll fit on here. Right now, the diameter of this is the same diameter as this. So as you see, that doesn't make a real slick cap because it's just going to fall all over the place. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of slits with my saw down to this first rib. I'm going to start with probably 4 of them. We'll see if it'll come in enough so that it will slide over it and make a nice fit. And then if that isn't enough, I'll make a few more cuts. So, you can probably tell this is my first time making one of these, but I think this is going to work out. Nope, not yet. We're gonna have to make some more cuts. Not a problem. Okay, give them a little bend inward. I think it'll work. Well, I'm going to make a little modification. Cut a little bit more of a notch out of it, see if that works. Got a little bit of a V notch. We'll see if that makes it better. All right, here's the deal. I can easily get them all the way around except for this last tab, so I'm just going to cut this one down about a 1/2 inch, and it's going to go. That's more like 3/4 of an inch, but all right, so I can get all these in. This one in, and now this one in. Yeah, that's all it took right there. Went down too far. So there we got it. Now I could have just left that centerpiece in there and just put holes in the bottom for the birds to get their water. But this takes up a lot of square footage inside the coop. I plan on putting this outside the coop in the run. And obviously I could have the full-size barrel, but I would like to be able to move this around, and it's just a lot easier. It's a little bit smaller in size. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 3 holes on the bottom section here, and I already marked it out. 1, 2, and 3 with the hole saw. I'm going to open this up, but the bottom of the hole is going to be at the 6.5-inch mark. And the reason why I have 3 holes is because I have a lot more chickens in that, but they don't all drink water at once, so it'll be fine. The other reason why I'm doing it this way is I'm putting 3 holes on one side, because if you have ground that isn't level and you put the holes all the way around it, you can only put as much water in as the lowest hole. So if it's tipped this way, you can only fill it up to that bottom hole, and before it starts running out, and then the other side is going to have barely any water to reach at all. So this way, if there's any hill, I can work with it, put these openings on the uphill side, then I can get more water in there, and that'd be a better deal. So let me go ahead, get these drilled. This is a 3 3¼ inch hole saw. There's one. Get the second one. Always catches right away, but it's got to have a firm grip on it. There's that one. There. Get the third one going. There we go. And there we go. You've got 3 holes. Have to clean out the edges of those holes. Just take a utility knife. You got this rough stuff here, just kind of back sweep it. I back sweep the edge. Usually takes care of it. And so I'll do that. I'll rinse it out, and we'll be right back. That's for sure. Okay, so here we are. Got her open. Got the instructions. Who needs instructions? Well, if I have to, I better keep them. Okay. There's that. There's the cord. Very nice. I'm going to spin off. This is the flotation part. This is a clip. I'll show you in a minute. Now, I'm going to let it sit on the bottom, I guess, because I'm afraid if it floats, it's going to come around here and the chickens will just peck at it. So I think having it sit on the bottom would be the best choice. But here's the idea of this whole thing. It's going to come down in here, and through the top of this, I'm going to open up one of these, and the cord comes out through there. There, so it's in there, comes out there. You can plug it in wherever your extension cord comes. You can also use the same hole to fill it again if you need to, so it keeps it covered. Chickens can't get in there. If you wanted to, you could open up the hole over there and fill it in through there if you want. It's up to you. Is it perfect? No. but it's going to work. Let's go put it to use. I almost forgot to show you this little clip. It's kind of cool. So it's got this corrugated protective tubing, I guess you could call it, and it just slips inside of the channel on the inside of this. This thing flexes just enough. You put it in there, and then I'm just going to take it to the edge of this opening and fit it down in there like that, and it's going to hold the cord steady right there. I'm probably going to have my extension cord come from up above, so that's going to be kind of neat. So chickens won't be messing with it a whole lot. It's going to go straight up towards the ceiling of the run. So that's pretty cool. Normally this is designed to hang on the side of a stock tank or something like that, and it'll work really well for that too, I'd imagine. All right, so here we are in one of my chicken runs. Got this in place. I have the holes on the uphill side because there's a little bit of a slope here. See my summertime water right over there. So we're going to start filling this up. I did rinse this thing out before I got to this point, and it's all nice and clean on the inside. All right, just finished filling her up. So I'm going to plug this in later on when it gets a little colder, but I probably run it up above and drop it down in. Could also move it over to the sidewall and just shoot it out the side to the extension cord, just as easy. Like I said, it's the first time I've done this. You could probably tell. And the one thing I might do different is, and I still might do to this one, is sink a couple of screws in to keep this from flying off if the wind gets too much. That's super simple to do. But otherwise, I think this is a success. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. What do you use in the wintertime to keep your water from freezing? Lots of other ideas out there. I'd like to know what you have. Thanks for watching.